this before. Just keep your focus. You know the answer to this. Oddly, you just do. You will figure it out. But that was something great. That's it. You've earned it. Start crying. Lifestyle. Now you're getting somewhere. The momentum is already in your favor. Take a deep breath. What's there to be scared of? Take a deep breath. Remember, where most people go wrong is in thinking they have to hide what they don't know. You feel relaxed and in control. Take a deep breath. This is your area of expertise after all. Take a deep breath.
Hello, hello, and greetings, everyone. And I know what I forgot. I knew I forgot something. Oh, here we go. Here I am. I want to say in flesh and blood, but I don't actually. I am not made of flesh and I am not made of blood. At least this version of me that you can see on the screen. Anyway, let's 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 have a little chat, you know, let's have a little stream. I've been thinking about this system a lot, and recently I started to do a little playtest of it. I will tell you what I think of it so far, and what I kind of missed. So let's just go over it step by step, everything from top to bottom. Disco Elysium, but the duet game, that's a placeholder name for now. It's just to make it clear that this is inspired by Disco Elysium, in that the GM will be dubbing stats, which are voices inside of the player's head. I think that's a fantastic premise still. I love it, and I really want it to work, even if it might be more load on the GM, but the goal here is to make an engaging game with 2 players, while also lessening the load on the GM in other areas of the game. So let's see. Core resolution. Determine how many dice you're rolling based on how much time you spend attempting this task. Roll the relevant stats. If you are getting assistance from another NPC or power, you may roll 1 additional die defined by it. Each roll of 4+ is a success. Here's how many successes each difficulty of a task requires. Now, this all is well and fine. So far, I only tested rolls using 2 dice and difficulty of 2. Hard difficulty, well, technically there was this one time in a combat encounter when I did not really have stats for the monster prepared just yet, so I was like, you know what, I think 3 successes will do, or like 2 rolls with 2 successes, something along those lines. And well, okay, I will say that this and this definitely works. If I make it so that rolling fewer successes but having successes translates into a mixed success, that is essential, I think. Starting array of stats. This also works really well for me. Actually, let me check what stats does my player have. Oh, actually, yeah, I gave my player 2d8s, 4d6s, and 3d4s instead. So maybe I will give them a little buff, possibly, who knows. But overall it feels pretty fine so far. I cannot complain, even with 2d8s and 3d4s. I wonder why I did that. I think it's because I did the calculations and it turned out that if I do as an improvement increase of 1 stat die by a single step, in 19 steps I would have all stats on a d10 pretty much. Assuming you don't go into d12s, you know, like trying to go for an even distribution. I think something like that. I would have to check the numbers again. Either way, this is fine, but it would be also fine as something like this, because this is what my player is actually using right now. Moving on. It should make up your own stats to suit your character based on the genre you're playing, a character you're embodying. How to make up the stats. Number 1. None of them should be just perception, just information recall or an explicit social function. Number 2. The names should be thematic and feel personal to the character. Number 3. They should only describe, never suggest on course of action. If the player asks, the skill can confirm or deny if they could perform the suggested course of action. Okay, so about this part. Talk about drawing the rest of the owl, am I right? I found a solution for this. It's gonna require me to minimize the starting array of stats, but that being said, it is really promising. I started this new duet campaign, and in that, it's proving quite efficient. So, stop me if you've heard this one. I just... I'm gonna use headers just to emphasize what I found out. Okay, so... subtle, flashy, forceful, careful, smart, and quick. Those of you who are very familiar with the TTRPG circles might recognize these as the Fate approaches, or rather Fate Accelerated Editions approaches. And you would be correct. I looked at it, and this seems to be the best way to do the stats. Well, save for a single detail, which I spent a lot of time last time talking about, but I will get to that in just a bit. So, these are gonna be the stats. Cool. Let's just check if everything is fine. None of them should be just perception. No. Which ones are perception? You could be searching fast. You could be searching carefully, making sure nothing is... you miss nothing. You could be searching smart, efficiently, thinking about where could the thing I am looking for possibly be. You could be searching very subtly, like you're talking to someone and just, trying to, on the side, find the thing that you are looking for without them noticing. That all works well, really well. So, perception, check, we got that. Just information recall. Now, here's a little hitch in the thing. None of these feel like information recall to me. Could I recall information subtly? Well, yeah, but most of information recall is subtle. Unless there is someone reading your mind. Could I recall information in a flashy manner? Not really. You could announce recall the information in a flashy manner, but you do not recall the information in a flashy manner. Could you recall it forcefully? As funny as it is, that just doesn't make sense to me. Could I recall it carefully? Technically yes, but nah. Could I recall it in a smart way? Also maybe. And could I recall it quick? Also possibly. So information recall, I would say that's a check. Even if these three can be used for information recall, it just doesn't really... it's not the only use for them. This one allows you to move fast physically, to react physically well, reflexes and so on. This one... Let me just check music. Make sure it's set on looping. Okay. Whatever, you get the point. Information recall. That is a check. Or an explicit social function. Now, this is where things get a little bit tricky, because there is flashy and subtle. Subtle could be used outside of social functions, because you could hide something in, I think hiding an item in a room would be a subtle role. Now, flashy. That is about drawing attention to yourself, about doing stuff with style. I don't know if that has a use outside of social function. Other ones, obviously, I mean, this one, I am happy that this even has a social function, because this otherwise sounds just like force, you know, being strong. This one has plenty of usage, this one as well, this one as well. I think even if it was just a social function, flashy approach is fine, it gets to stay. So that's the first item of this list covered, without me telling the player or GM, oh, you need to make up your own stats, and good luck, have fun. So that's done. That's covered. The names should be thematic and feel personal to the character. That one is something that I will have to keep. I'm gonna unlist that, because that's not gonna have to be a list anymore. But the point is, use the following as templates for the stats. The names should be thematic and feel personal to the character. Boom. So what's number 3? They should only describe, never suggest, course of action. If the player asks, the skills can confirm or deny if they could perform the suggested course of action. I think I could drop that part. I mean, the fact whether a skill can or cannot do a course of action, I think that could be just told by the GM. Because here's the thing about Fate Accelerated, at least from what I've seen online. I did plenty of research these past few days, and it seems that the biggest problem with it is if the players try to be smart about it. Oh wait, that's supposed to say clever, not smart. If they try to outsmart the system by, you know, choosing their words carefully. See what I did there? Like, for example, I am going to quickly think of a solution. Well, is it quick or is it clever that you think of a solution? I am going to subtly intimidate someone. Well, that sounds more like forceful approach, because you are intimidating them, you are pushing them. So I think the ideal course of action here would be to have the player describe what they do, and maybe I am considering having only the GM roll the dice for the player. Maybe. Suggesting the course of action is something tough to unlearn. I am still trying my best to do that. Big influence on me besides Discobolisium in this is Slay the Princess, where you also have voices in your mind, who would have thought, and those suggestive courses of action all the time. You know, kind of like tempting you, reasoning and such. It's fine in that game, because it's a video game. Eventually you only have these few choices. In a tabletop RPG, that just feels off. Use the following as templates for the stats. Give them names that are personal to the character. For now, this gets to stay the way it is. About the powers, a character should have no more than 4 powers. I think that's a solid approach. I haven't tested too many just yet. I only tested 1 power, and even that, it was like okay. It was only relevant in a big conflict. Bennies. Now this is gonna be interesting, because I came up with something different recently for conflict situations like combat and so on. You can spend a penny to turn a roll into a 4. You can only spend the penny once per roll. Which would mean that if you have a partial success on something, you could turn it into a full success with this. Or if you have a complete failure, you could turn it into a partial success. Now, sure, that is fine, but I don't know. Since then, what I came up with is this. You can spend a 1 point of will to avoid suffering a wound, or to turn add/subtract 1 from the roll. That, at least in my little playtest in between the sessions of the duet campaign, worked pretty well for the combat minigame I came up with. Which sadly brings me to this part. Blackjack. When the player is involved in an intense situation, track a total which starts at 0. The GM picks a limit secretly. For a standard situation, it's 16. For a precise situation where time is limited, it's 12. For a situation where it's hard to tell how much time the player has, it's 20. And the GM may roll any number of fudge dice to alter the limit. The more fudge dice are rolled, the less predictable the situation gets. The player rolls 2 stat dice of their choice. If a dice roll is 4 or more, it's added to the total, otherwise it creates a complication. When the player stops, they may ask a number of questions equal to total divided by 4, rounded down. I completely forgot about this by the time I started my campaign 2. And honestly, by now, I don't know if I like this as much. Because I came up with an alternative. Combat rules. I will just try to write them out off the top of my head without referencing the document I wrote down for this. It's gonna be hard to put it into words of my own, but might as well, you know? Oh, that those weren't my own words, but whatever. Combat rules. Roll 2d6 plus 1d6. No, 2 dice plus 1 dice plus 1 die if you have a weapon, plus 1 die if you use a power. So this is the start of it. Every roll of 4 plus is a hit. That's predictable. Enemies have hit points. Rolls of 3 minus hurt you instead, unless you spend 1 will to prevent that wound. And finally, last but not least, matching roll numbers cause collateral damage. Because I wanted in that game to have environment matter more than just a battle arena. I wanted it to matter in an emotional way also. It's played in a modern setting, and the player is a student at a university. When he arrives to the town, to the city, I describe how his favorite, bar or something? Not favorite, but one of the bars that he kind of liked was turned into an art studio or something along those lines. And I just try to make it clear that this city will change over time. There will be changes. The buildings will go old and they will get replaced by new buildings. And, well, this process could speed it up, causing collateral damage. Okay, as for the GM side, this is something that we will be looking into today. Gotta make records for generating content on the run, gotta make a complications generator, and finally construct some pre-prepared materials. Now, I checked today the index card RPG because I had something, a bit of a debate online that I got involved in. Basically, it was about what is necessary for being a GM. And I think the most important thing the GM should be able to improvise are complications, obstacles, which I feel so validated when I found out that ICRPG, Index Card RPG, agrees with me, at least somewhat. So, you know what? Let's just have a look at it. I think roughly page 80. Oh, further, even further. To raise a mug and tell tales is a good thing. The game is only a reason to gather friendship first, all else second. Take the oath. If players are the lifeblood of a good tabletop session, then the game master is the heart. He will move the fluid of the story, lift the pressure and release it. You will go unseen, never stop improving, and dedicate yourself to bringing out the best in others. To do this, begin with an oath. The oath of the game master. Yeah, this is describing the philosophy of this. By the way, this is free quick start available on the official website. I believe that's the official website at least. But it is free, legally available quick start. So here's the thing that I feel validated on. You need 3 things. Where are the heroes? What kind of setting? What kind of location within the setting? What is their goal? What are they trying to achieve? And finally, what stands between the two? The obstacle. And from my experience, the first one is usually either defined by the premise of the campaign or by previous session or previous scene, whatever. That one is not that difficult to prepare for. You could make up locations on the run, on the spot. Unless you are playing in a VTT, in which case you would probably want some kind of map or some visual representation of it. What is their goal? This, I believe, is something that the players should deliver. Without a goal, they are not gonna move. So they need something, and they need to want that something. Finally, this, I think, is something that could be provided by both parties. Now, in this conversation, someone was arguing with me and saying that, oh, players can provide their own obstacles if you just give them something that looks like an obstacle. Which, maybe, but also, if the game stagnates, because the players are not reacting to any of your things that look like obstacles but are not actually obstacles unless they consider them obstacles, well, you should be ready to fix that, you know? You should do something about it. I'm not saying that it is the GM's duty, but, you know, someone has to do something about it. Might as well be the GM. At least the GM should be ready to do that. So, this is the essence of everything you create. Referee, describe and resolve at the table. If you're still drawing a blank, you can almost answer at random and still seed your story, adventure, or even campaign with novel ideas that will start to create themselves. The 3 questions can also be imagined as location, goal, and obstacle. Diagram at right. Okay, here we have something. So, we have Alfheim locations. Okay, that's like his fantasy setting and the sci-fi setting. So we have Butcher, Lions, Gate. Okay, those are fine obstacles. A maze of sadistic traps. The Nuns of Myraby. Or Abbey? I don't know what's the pronunciation. Rowing tentacle beasts. Tezak and her brood, Hag and her insect swarm, Salang the Infinite, Dark Mantles, Zombies, Elite Guard, and Storm Giants. All of this works, it's just, I guess most of them are creatures of some kind, which, yeah. Okay, narrative. Get your names, ideas, and scenes, jot it down, and string them together with purpose, nuance, and drama. Rescue miners of the dead moon from living rock creatures and magma pseudopods as the mines collapse. This method is easy to understand and fun to write, but it can leave a few too many questions when you're at the table and playing. Exactly what happens? You always need a sense of who, where, what, and why, but the mechanical technique will help you diversify the tasks and tests through the story. So one way of differentiating them, I guess, is designing them mechanically. I will be honest, I did not read past this because I was too busy today, but overall it is a well-written. Thinking in sessions, only play one session at a time. Yeah, so you should not be planning for 3 or 5 or 10 sessions ahead. Players can finally breathe, recover, repair items, or new spells. Don't be too cruel as to rob them of a respite, but then, when they relax, pull the rug. Okay. Session end roll, the final frame, cliffhangers, the tribunal. Easy and hard cases. I'll pry open the crocodile's jaws. Okay, roll hard strength as it fights back. Target is 12 right now, so meet or beat 15. In other words, this is a nice and simple way to modify the base rolls in the game by adding or subtracting 3. I think in my own system I do pretty much the same thing. Well, okay, I don't, because I could say that an easy roll requires just 1 success. Maybe easy 1. It feels like 4 is asking for a bit too much. At the same time, this feels like too much. So yeah, spending an hour, I think that is fair to give you 4 dice. Target escalation using hearts. Now, this is the thing that I wanted to check today. But first, let's just check if they are mentioned anywhere earlier. I don't think so. Is everything just 1 heart, 10 effort? No, knowing when to raise or reduce hearts on your foes and challenges is a key piece of challenge escalation. Just like the target, when you escalate challenges, enemies, or tasks from 1 heart to 2, players take notice. Such escalation gives a clear, easy-to-measure category of difficulty. Players are always wondering how much damage they have to do. Let me just pour myself a drink. When and when not to reveal becomes a muddy decision of for a GM. The heart system solves all that. It's like saying, this is hardness class 1. Then later, 12 effort won't do. This monster has 2 hearts. There's something powerful here, and the monsters you use it at your table. Oh, the more you use it at your table. I skipped a line. There's something powerful here, and the more you use it at your table, you'll wonder why you even had 14 HP monsters. 10 is a perfect increment of, oh crap, this is way harder, without math and arbitrary numeric detail. Jumping from 1 heart to 2 hearts is huge, not to mention monsters with 4 or more. Here are a few examples when to load them up. Creatures are magically enhanced, the chest holds insanely epic loot, there is less than 3 of a monster in a battle. Simpler effort. Remember that using hearts on tasks is a way to delay completion of a desired action, and delays aren't always fun. Use a 3-part system to speed things up. Failed attempt. No effort made. Successful attempt, halfway. Crit success, done instantly. Okay, so if it's not hearts, you can just do it in 2 successful rolls. That's pretty good. Actually, now that I think about it, that combat that I've had, it worked pretty much the same way. Well, I did count the successes, but still. Initiative and turns. Yeah, just going around the table. Giving rewards, hero coins, milestone rewards, battle fury, spellburn, the blunder. Clean stats, effort, single target, enemy hearts. 12 and 14 is not useful to players and add little to play. Group your monsters into classes of 10, 20 or 30 HP in your notes. Give it a try and see if it fits your game. For most, the players never know the difference and you save a lot of time and lookup effort on your prep. Okay. Far near close. Story architecture, that's pretty cool. Art of room design, do the U. The 3 T's. Timers, threats, treats. Okay. See, yeah, I feel like I should have read that sooner. Challenge tuning, the 3 D's. Damage, disruption, duration. Okay. I feel like I should be taking notes, but it's all written right here. Encounter architecture. Look at that! Even has little doodles for where the enemies and players could be positioned to make combat interesting. Barrier, tangle. Yeah, I might have to read up on that later. Just gonna save it on a side window and let's see, close one of these. Okay, so here's the thing. You might notice something is wrong here. I only have 6 numbers here, 9 dice here. The instinct might be, oh, this is for the powers, right? You want to assign dice to the powers. No, I mean, they will have dice, but I don't want them to have powers from the moment the character is created. So, yeah, things become quite tricky. The biggest thing I've wasted my last week on is trying to find more approaches. And I've iterated through so many approaches, so many ideas. Let's just see some of them. First of all, resolute. You know what, let's just... Why would I add this? What would this contribute? Resolute as in patient or unmoving, unflinching, unyielding. Something that will persevere. That's the idea of it. The problem with resolute is that it feels too passive. I've seen a conversation on the forum online where people discussed this, and it is just passive about resisting things most of the time, like resisting poison and such. And well, that sounds okay on paper. In practice, I don't think that's the way to go. If anything, I think forceful would be what Fate players would choose instead of resolute, so that's gonna go out. Next up, graceful. Now, I will be straightforward and say that in my current playtest, I have both resolute and graceful still among the stats, and just for the sake of consistency, I do not plan to remove them anytime soon, because, well, they feel integral to the player character. That being said, what would graceful be about? It would be about fluid motions and possibly even formalities and such. being polite, being agile, and so on. What's the problem with that? Well, if it's about being agile, we already have quick. If it's about being tactful or really skilled with your agile body, it's about being careful. You could also be flashy with how graceful you are. Overall, yeah, it just doesn't really fit. Empathic pronunciation, am I right? Okay, empathic. I mean, empathic. So, what is this about? It is about expressing yourself, about being genuine, about being honest, and so on. And I think this is so far the most viable option. I mean, I could say that it's careful, like you are trying to be trying to not deceive a person, trying to be open to yourself and so on. Okay, no, let's look at everything. Overall, holistic approach. Is it quick? No. Empathic, genuine, honest approach is not gonna be quick. And it's not gonna be flashy either. You are not here talking to the whole airport to not leave, to not go on that plane and fly overseas because you love them or something. No, that's not how it works. It's also not forceful. You are not forcing something. You are showing empathy or showing your true inner feelings. Unless your inner feelings are forceful, which we will get to that, I guess. Is it subtle? Possibly. In a very minor way, it could be subtle. Like you are only entrusting these feelings to this one specific person. That could work, but yeah, I don't know. Is it clever? That is a tough question. And the answer is, to an extent, yeah. Yeah, it is, in a way. But, I don't know. Either way, long story short, this one still doesn't feel like it. Could it be playful? Maybe flirty or something? Well, let's see. Is it forceful? Not really. Is it quick? No. Unless you are being playful in a frustratingly fast way, like, tapping someone on their shoulder and quickly looking away or something. Is it about being careful? I don't think so. Is it about being clever? Yeah, in a way. I think so. So, I don't know. Being playful or flirty just doesn't jazz with me. Doesn't work. I think. That leads me to an option which I do think works. Weird. Or bizarre. But I prefer to say weird because I can say weirdly much more easily than I can say bizarrely. And also, bizarre is a word that always confuses me with its spelling, so weird. Just weird will do. What is a weird action? Trying to get the door unlocked by whispering to it. And then it opens, because there was a person on the other side. You did not have knowledge that there will be another person on the other side. There was no rational way for it to work, and yet it did work. Weird action could also be, I don't know, something else that would be bizarre. I think there is a manga based on that premise, made by the guy who made One Punch Man. And I will spend a minute looking that up, just to be sure. Okay, created by one, who is a manga artist. Bug Ego, that's the name. So, Bug Ego, in a nutshell, is a manga about a boy and an older boy, or man, I don't remember, who is superstitious. Like, Takehiro finds and eventually shares a mysterious notebook with Makoto which details various bugs in reality, bizarre actions or events which result in otherwise unexplained phenomena. The two resolve to work together to experience and document the effects of the bugs, often dealing with the fallout suffered by falling to the heat of to heed the warnings detailed in the book. The two are later joined by Hashirayuki, a highly competent yet overworked classmate who seeks to regain the lost joy of her youth. So, that's the premise. It's like, oh, you can get this thing if you do this bizarre little ritual. And that's exactly what doing something weirdly would do. In other words, hooray! Good news is, we have a seventh approach. Yay. You know what the problem is though, right? Right? You know what the problem is, because I can say it. Let me just illustrate it with a quick table. So we have subtle, flashy, forceful, careful, clever, quick, weird. Notice something? That's right. There is something missing. There's 7 approaches, and that's just such a terrible amount to look at. I cannot arrange it into a neat 3x3 square or 2x4 rectangle even. Now, sure, the instinct would be to introduce an opposite that would be normal. He will do things normally. Except the problem with that is that you can do pretty much everything normally. You can walk quickly normally, or in a weird way. You could be clever in a normal way, or in a weird way. You could be careful in a normal or a weird way. In other words, normal and weird feel too exclusive. Like, you can't not do things in either way. I can do something in a way that is neither subtle nor flashy. Because I could, I don't know, just talk to you like this. If I were to shout and wave my hands here where I am, and open the windows and shout on the streets, that would be flashy. If I were to speak in a hushed voice, so that no one else could hear us, that could be subtle. But I am talking in a neutral way, because I don't give a shit about whether my neighbors will or won't hear everything I have to say to you guys. This is going to be live, so, you know, whatever. Can I do something in a way that is neither forceful nor careful? Yes, I can. Can I do something in a way that is neither clever nor quick? Yeah, well, obviously, those two don't even feel opposite. I don't even know if the opposites are careful and quick, and clever and forceful, or forceful and careful versus clever and quick. To me, it just feels like these two make for a better opposite pair. And these two, honestly, these describe the ways I can play chess, either by thinking through every move of mine, like 2, 3, 4 steps ahead, or just playing whatever I feel like. This also feels like how you could play games. You could just do something random, or you could think, and you could overthink, react, and react to the reactions. So, what I'm trying to say is that the 6 approaches above do not feel mandatory. Normal and weird feel mandatory. You have to pick one or the other. Unless I would find something that would be like doing a thing super normally. But yeah, so far I did not. Which brings me to something else. Intuitive. Now this is a weird area, because it is doing something without thinking about it. You're not in a hurry. You are not thinking through every step or watching how exactly you are doing a thing. You are not trying to force something or hide or draw attention. You are just doing a thing how it feels right. Strangely, the only thing that could be overlapping here is weird, and even that, I think, doesn't have to overlap, because when you do a thing in a weird way, you can do it consciously, like in that Bug Ego manga. You will do something because you know it's gonna work, you focus on how you do it, it doesn't make sense to you, but you do it anyway. Intuitive is more about going with the flow, doing it as it feels right. And that's why I think it works as an approach. Especially in a game like Disco Elysium. I mean, I do believe there is a stat in there that could be intuition, but I don't remember which one. Could it be Shivers? Or something else? Let's see. Well, there is Inland Empire. I think that's like imagination and supernatural stuff. Shivers and Esprit de Corps are also kind of borderline supernatural things. What was it that I was intuitive? Okay, logic, encyclopedia, rhetoric, drama, conceptualization, visual calculus, volition, Inland Empire, this kind of, but it feels more weird than intuitive. Empathy, authority, esprit de corps. I don't even remember what kinds of uses this had other than eavesdropping on your colleagues. Suggestion, endurance, pain threshold, physical instrument, electrochemistry, shivers. Honestly, I think shivers feels the closest to intuition. Way more than it would feel to doing something in a weird way. Weird would be Inland Empire. Half-Light, hand-eye coordination could also count for intuitive, I think, but also careful. Perception, reaction speed, savoir-faire, interfacing, oh yeah, interfacing maybe also, and composure. Yeah, see, when I look at it like this, trying to assign them to approaches, let's see, what feels forceful? I think forceful would be Half-Light, physical instrument, endurance, pain threshold. Maybe composure? No, that's subtle. Authority also. Possibly rhetoric or suggestion. Those feel a little like a stretch. Maybe suggestion is clever. Speaking of, let's see what's clever. Logic. Visual calculus. Encyclopedia, kind of. That feels more like information recall, but it can be clever, I guess. Suggestion feels clever. Empathy, possibly. I mean, you are understanding people, which takes smarts. Oh yeah, volition could be forceful also. Whatever, moving on. Speed. Reaction speed. Savoir-faire, maybe? Possibly physical instrument. I could imagine that if it's... No, wait, endurance, because that's about running all the time, everywhere. Flashy. Now, what would flashy be? I think rhetoric, authority, possibly drama. I think that was more like lie detection, so that's clever. Conceptualization, that was pretty flashy. Drawing attention to your arts. Maybe half-light in a way. I don't know. Electrochemistry feels like a weird one. Because that's just like addiction. Also, endurance and composure could in theory be the resolute stat, but like I said, that feels too passive to include. So let's just not. Anyway. Did I have any more here? Also, why is this not closing? Okay. Did I have any more in my notes? In my notes. There is also bold, but I don't know how, if I can make that sufficiently different. Okay, now let's start with this one. Formal. Yeah, about being courteous. Courteous? Probably? Yeah, courteous. And being, you know, polite and posh. And knowing what to do in what situation. And yeah, you are already getting my point. That feels formal. So, no, not that either. Intimate. Opening up. Being empathic, genuine, honest, intimate. Yeah, maybe it's like subtle because you are expressing your inner vulnerabilities to someone else who is close to you and nobody else. Or maybe it's about being careful about because you don't want to freak them out or something. Yeah, that just feels weak. Bold. Okay, now we are cooking a little. Here's the thing. Bold is usually seen as synonymous to flashy. Flashy is more like stylish, you are drawing attention. What makes bold different? It is acting in a way recklessly, it is acting bravely. In other words, being forceful. And maybe flashy while at it. So, yeah. If I find something that could be reasonable opposite of intuitive or weird approach, I think I could include it in the table, but until then, I am afraid I have just 8 stats. And that just feels lame to me. I don't like the look of this. Is there anything else that I could take inspiration from? That's the question. And the answer is nah. Let's see, what stats do they use in ICRPG just to take inspiration? Oh, the standard 6. Strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. Yeah, sure, let's have a look. Okay. Strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. Okay, so this is about being flashy or forceful in a way or subtle, but let's just assign 1 to 1. This one is about being weak. Technically also careful, but we will see if we don't have something better for that. This one is clever. This one is forceful. What do we have left? Flashy, subtle. Yeah, this one is also subtle. Constitution can go screw itself because that's a passive stat that you do not use in skill checks. And let's give this one the careful one, because you are trying to understand people and so on. Or something, I don't know. So this basically gave me no ideas other than, hey, you might want to reconsider the resolute stat. I also did download this document on fate accelerated approaches, but there is not that much stuff in it that I could draw from. So I feel a little bit let down. And I cannot find it right now. Where is it? Where is it? Where is she? Did I seriously lose it? Maybe it's saved in a different folder. Like here or here. Nope. Is it possible that it's here? Nah. Very professional. New Brigadoon? Nope. Disco Elysium TTRPGs, maybe? Yeah, it is here. So let's see. Fate System Toolkit. I don't know if I should be scrolling through everything, so... Fate... No, wait, that's not it. Okay, at least let me take that out of that folder. The Accelerated Book of Approaches. Wait, but where is it saved? Oh, wait, maybe it's under T. Oh, it's in the same folder. See, I wanted to do a stream where I would review Disco Elysium TTRPGs, but I don't know if I can do that. Not that I would need to be permitted or something, it just feels off. Okay, so let's just... So we have the basic 6 approaches. However, flashy, forceful, quick. Actually, let me just be sure, because I don't know if I can share it on stream. Attribute approaches. Strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. Constitution is useful for fending off the effects of poison, ignoring an attack against you, or seeing how long you can keep running or performing some other physically exhausting action. So, whatever. Now, the D6 approaches. Knowledge, presence, perception, agility, reflexes, strength. Yeah, not much. Mongoose traveler approaches. Strength, dexterity, endurance, intelligence, education, social standing. Skill approaches. Action approaches. Driving, shooting, close combat, hacking, sneaking, seduction. The issue with this is that it's... Oh yeah, it says here. These approaches allow you to easily mimic any Mission Impossible or James Bond style action film. Wizarding School. Charms, transmutation, physicality, divination, herbology, potion making. Not useful for me whatsoever. Space Knights. Alteration, extrasensory control, study, weapon training, telepathy. Okay. No, nothing. Open Legends RPG. Let's see if I can take anything from there. Actions and attributes. Interpreting action rolls. Advantage, disadvantage. Wait, where are the attributes then? Where are the attributes? Is it in character creation? Ah, okay, there it is. Agility, fortitude, might. Yeah, we already got those covered. Learning, logic, perception, will. See, now that's kind of interesting. I could, in theory, have something like learning as a separate thing from cleverly or clever. Perception I absolutely refuse to have as an approach because I want perception to be doable by multiple approaches. Will is about resolve, which I already have on the list as resolute. Deception is just being subtle, persuasion is being forceful or clever, and presence is about being flashy. Not very helpful. But you know what? It's fine. Okay. So now, I guess this is it for now. I could add graceful in, I could add resolute in there, or I could try to find something that is like normal or opposite to intuitive, but not exactly opposite. Like conventional, traditional, or something, but I guess for now 8 will have to do. Okay, that being said, after an hour of painful waffling about, let's let's keep these on one page. Let's do 4 flavors for this game. Now, what do I mean by flavor? I mean renaming these stats, just as an example. I also mean, honestly, I mean that's, I guess I could attach extra mechanics to it and all, but I don't know, whatever. Okay. Okay. Here's the deal. I don't even have the 4 flavors in my mind just yet. I could just go with the flavors that I did before, but where's the fun in that? If I can just make it up on the stream, live, in front of a whole bunch of one person. Yeah. Okay. I only have one idea so far, and that is the Severance, the ripoff. Okay. I've watched Severance, I enjoyed it, and in my mind, I feel like it could make for a fun TTRPG, so why not? Why not give it a go? Let's see. If I were to remake the stats as Severance style skills named in a Disco Elysium fashion, what names would I give them? For something like this, I think it's helpful to find idioms. Idioms English. Theidioms.com, I think. I don't know if that's actually the one that usually comes up. Office. Coffee, badging, meaning, origin, example, sentence etymology. The act of employees briefly visiting the office to register their presence, often by swiping their access badge before departing to work remotely. Huh. A workplace behavior where staff members make a short appearance at the office, typically to be seen and perhaps grab a coffee, then leave to continue their tasks from another location. The practice of employees entering the workplace and minimal duration. Okay. So that's coffee badging. Coffee badging. Entering and leave the office briefly, then working remotely. Actually, I don't think it's this website that would usually come up. Let's just try to find an idiom or idiom Idioms Academy? Free Dictionary, that probably is. Yes, this is it. Okay, back at something or someplace. Be doing a land office business. Can I see you in my office? Drive one out of office. Front office. The management of an organization, usually a business. Eh, good offices. Aid or support given to others, often from a position of influence. Now see, that's something that I did not consider before. An approach about helping other people. I mean, sure, I could help them in a careful way, or cleverly, or forcefully, or quickly. But, okay, no, I talked myself out of it. Box office. The place where one may purchase tickets to a performance, such as a film, play, concert, etc., usually located within the venue. And overall financial success as measured by ticket sales, usually used blah blah blah. Okay. Through one's good offices, take office. The office oust from just another day at the office. Give one the office. Force one out of the office. Could I see you in my office? Box office, back office. For somebody's good offices. Okay. Just another day at the office. Another in a series of typical ordinary days, especially in the context of work. Often used to highlight that one's typical day consists of things not normal for most people. Back office, the section of a business or company that is responsible for managing internal affairs, such as administration, information technology, and so on, and thus generally does not have contact with clients, customers, or the general public. Okay. Back office. And let's just make it clear. Boom. This is how I'm gonna do this. Now, office doesn't feel like it's got that many idioms. The works, the entirety of what's available, all the related elements of something. Work one's way into, work something, work into something, work through, work. Oh, well, there we go. Be a show horse, not a workhorse. All in the day's work. Day's work, that could be a cool name of a task. Normally, actually, let's just boom, so that you can see what I am seeing. Let me fast forward the stream. There we go. So we have plenty to choose from when it comes to work. Question is just what to go with. I have no idea what cut work means. Tedious, routine work, especially that which is menial or objectionable. The donkey work, Trojan. Too much like hard work. Work fingers to the bone, work one's magic, work way. Work among, work away, work at cross purposes. Work for peanuts. Work down, work in progress. Ooh. Work in progress. No. Work it, work like a charm. Wow, this word has plenty of uses. Work the rabbit hoodon. Work the crowd. Ooh. Actually, that gives me an idea. It's not going to be literally work the crowd, but this could be something like management. I don't know. Kind of feels like it. I mean, it's drawing attention of the workers working for you, supposedly, but yeah, no. Management. I don't know. Work spouse, work the crowd, work way up, work way along, work your passage. What's that? Exchange for free travel to a specific town or country. Oh, okay. Set to work. The Lord works in mysterious ways. How was that line in Severance? The work is mysterious and important. Okay. I kind of want to make a reference to that, but I don't. I feel like it would be too forced because it's really long. Mindless work. Legwork. Demanding work required to do or accomplish something. Legwork. Ah. Okay. I'm tired of these. Let's see. What could I use here? Job. That's gonna have a lot of. Oh, okay. Not as many. That's good. A whale of an inside job. Inside job. Oh. Crime committed by someone who is closely involved with the target person or group. Inside job. What here is an inside job? This is quick. This is forceful. This is flashy. Subtle. Subtle could maybe work. I mean... Boom! There you go. Look at that. That I think works. It sounds a little silly, but yeah. Oh. Okay, the space at the end doesn't make a change. That's nice. You know what? Job. Occupation. Employment. Employ. Be employed in. Employ. Bathroom. Go number... What? Employ a steam engine to crack a nut. Okay, this doesn't work much. Task. The taskmaster. An uphill task. Be brought to task. On task. Task me. Uphill task. Take somebody to task. Take the task. Come to job. Do the job with something. Take someone to task. Upward the task. Task switching. Multitasking. 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 Multitasking feels weird. Let's just be silly. Taskmaster. Boom. Okay. What else? Employment, position, work, business. Business. That's none of your business. Wow, okay. Full swing. Oh. Ooh. Return to the fastest pace or most robust level of activity possible. Full swing. Boom. See? This works. I mean, yes, it is complicated because I am looking up idioms and that can get tricky, but like, look at it. We already are starting to see the shape of it. An RPG where we have stats like back office, inside job, full swing, and taskmaster. How cool is that? Okay, so business as usual. Nose out of business, land of his business like crazy, out of business. Trade is also a word that could work. Businesswoman, businessman, business as usual, big business. Large, powerful, and influential commercial organization and financial firms considered collectively. some commercial activity or enterprise that is very profitable. Get the business. It's business as usual. I'll thank you to mind your own business. Go about your business. And funny business. Oh. 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 Yes, this is no funny business. Okay. Okay. Trade. I wanted to look up trade. Jack of all trades, a trade secret. Trade secret. That's subtle. I already have subtle. Trade. Apply for trade, apply for business, Jill of all trades, master of none. Do a roaring trade by trade, carriage trade, horse trading, apply for hire, tools of the trade, trade blows, trade insults, trade secret. Rough trade. Yeah, that's all of them. Okay. Let's see what economy. No. Trade. Business, exchange, swap, deal. A good deal. A big deal. A done deal. Raw deal. Unfair situation or poor treatment. Raw deal. Nah, that doesn't work for me. It's a deal. Good deal. Great deal. Fair deal. Deal a mortal blow. Close the sale. Close the deal. Big deal. Deal a bad hand. Cut a deal. Reach an agreement with someone for something. No, in this case it doesn't feel like it fits. Seal the deal, shady deal, sweet deal, strike a deal, sweeten up the pot. What's the big deal? The deal, what's the scam? Wheel and deal, you deal it with it. Commerce? Market. Cattle market, buyer's market, seller's market, beyond market, cattle market, corner of the market on. Find in the market for something, get something on the market, in the market, on market price, out of the market, slave market, bottom drops out of the market, spot market. A blind dog in a meat market, recklessly, in an out of control manner. Man, that's such a saying. A market in which the purchase of or sale of an asset occurs instantly and the delivery immediately. Oh, okay, so like selling on the spot. Got it. Charge what the market will bear. Bring your pigs to market. Black market. Ooh, black market. Let's just do it like this. And flavor it like the black market is gonna try to, you know, it's offering you deals. It's not just sensing supernatural stuff. Instead, it is like, hey kid, I know you want to get there. I'm gonna cut you a deal. You're gonna you won't believe what I've got to offer you. Something like that. So, I could also have sell or something seller. Seller's remorse. Clear conscience. Wait, no. Duty. Responsibility, task, obligation. Oh, responsibility? Charge, task, accountability, burden, function, role. Okay, let's just try responsibility. Finger of responsibility. The strongest blame of having done something wrong, most often followed by points at someone or something. With great something comes great something else. With great power comes great responsibility. Okay. Duty. Heavy duty? Active duty. Call of Duty. Double duty. Duty bound. Okay, let's see. Heavy duty. Designed to be durable for heavy use or extreme conditions, industrial strength. By extensions, very serious, extreme. Now these could work like forceful, I think, like heavy duty. What do I have for forceful? Taskmaster. Taskmaster could in theory be clever or careful, but let's just write it down here. Heavy duty. Forceful, possibly. Active duty. Current full-time service in the military. By extension, full-time service in another area of life. Yeah, not this time. It's about office. Above and beyond. Exceeding expectations or requirements. Okay. Double duty. Now this. Two things done or performed simultaneously. To function served or accomplished simultaneously. Duty bound, obligated or expected to do something. I guess... okay, I want to name this double duty because I felt like double duty could stand for someone doing something really well, like yeah, like you make sure twice or something, but that doesn't work much. Okay, so if not duty, what kind of a promotion? Advancement, promoting, elevating, propaganda support. Okay, so not much here. Promotion. There are no idioms related to promotion. I am disappointed. Fire someone. To cause one to feel a particular emotion. That's not it. I cannot believe they don't have idiom for firing someone, like ending their job. No idioms. Official written document. A pen pusher. Okay, let's see. One who has a boring, meaningless office job. Let's do this. Pen pusher. Yes, your job is to push puns in your workplace. Paperback. On paper. Paper thin. Paper hanger. Paper profit. Paper tiger. Push paper. Oh, paper trail. Paper trail. Ooh. Physical or digital documentation of a person's or group's activity. Profit that one could receive for something that they have not sold yet. Mm. Clean sheet of paper. White paper. Good on paper. Green. Paper trail. Can't carry a tune. Pen pusher. Bath paper. Paper trail. Paper tiger. What the hell is paper tiger anyway? A nation or organization that gives the impression that it is threatening or powerful when in reality it is not. Man, that could make for an interesting like nickname within a Severance like shrunk. Okay, I think I'm ready to switch up the songs. Tabletop audio. Office. I guess 1940s office could work. It's not that old, but it's the closest out of all three here. Okay, so walking papers. To dismiss one from employment in order to leave or move from a place. Move on from a place. Okay. I guess firing someone is not even an idiom, it's just like a synonym. Anyway, okay, not paper then. Staple? Like stapler? No idioms. I thought staple foods would be a thing, but I guess that's not an idiom. I kind of want to go with simple and just call it coffee break. But let's see what idioms does coffee have. Coffee and then Inish, coffee in, coffee out, coffee clutch. Casual informal social gathering of for chatting or gossiping over cups of coffee. A variant of the term coffee clutch. Loan word that translates as coffee gossip. Coffee shop, coffee table book, coffee talk. Cold blood, cold coffee. Oh, beer. Stop and smell the coffee. That and some amount of money will get you a cup of coffee. That and a nickel will buy you a cup of coffee. Wow. Something is utterly worthless. Wake up and smell the coffee. Cup of Joe. Cup of coffee. True origin is unknown. Joe as a synonym for coffee is theorized to either be a shortening of Jamoke, a combination of Java and Mocha, two major suppliers of coffee beans, or as a reference to it being a drink of the ordinary man, average Joe, primarily heard in US. Java. Does Java have videos? Cup of Java. Java, chocolate, amber, brown, espresso. Espresso delivery. Hmm. Okay. Something about accounts, counting and such. Blow by blow account, on my account, not on any account. By all accounts, call to account, added account, take into account, settlement account, square accounts, Smurf account. Oh yeah, that's like digital accounts, settle accounts, burner account, bank account. Um, Reports. Oh, what? I guess that's not there. Okay, so you have report, record, statement, bill, history, description. Account, tell, record, chronicle, story, statement, inform. Accounting. Double bookkeeping. Honestly, I kind of like the double bookkeeping, so let's just go with that. Gotta check the spelling. Double entry bookkeeping, that's how it's spelled. And look at that, we've got all the approaches so far. Although this is quite a wordy one. Let's just call it bookkeeping instead. Okay, so we have inside job, funny business, taskmaster, pen pusher, bookkeeping, full swing, black market, back office. I think that's a fine start. And it's gone dark by now, so let me just shut the curtains and turn on the light because it's really dark. Okay, I'm pretty much back. So rejoice, everyone. Okay, heavy duty. First one, possibly. Nah. Coffee badging also, nah. So that's the stats. Now just to to keep it keep the spirit going, let's just make a spark table for this. I think 20 entries could do. Hmm. Okay, 20 entries into the table. Some header could be useful. Okay, word associations, go. Report. Stapler. Pie. Nectar. Watch. Coffee. Manager. Ask. Not paperwork. Let's just go with pen. My mind goes to printer, but that just feels weird and lame. Account. File. Vacation. Oh. Job. Deadline. Come on, I can squeeze a couple more words out. Meeting. Okay, something more, something else. Something more, something else, something more, something else. Screw it, printer. Overtime? Oh, that's ruining the table. Okay, well, let's do it like this then. Overtime, 10, 15, 20. Boom. Ah, one extra column. Okay, so a couple more. Duty, responsibility. The line salary or wage. Salary. Bonus. That's gonna be the number 20. Mm, maybe a 1d100 would be better, but this is just for illustration purposes. I can make it within a stream, and possibly even 4 times if I feel like it. One last word. Of course, sign, as in signature, or to sign a paper, or there's a sign on the corridor. Anyway, that's. I don't want to say that this is finished, this is totally playable, you guys, but it's a solid foundation to start with. Way better than just telling the player, oh, you just make up your own stats, and make up your own setting and make up everything. This is better. Which is kind of the purpose of this stream, to just go on and brainstorm some stuff. Speaking of brainstorming, there's another thing that I've been looking at these past few days. Pirates. Because, what's there not to like about pirates? Well, I guess plundering and pillaging and stuff, but that's beside the point. Let's ignore all the bad stuff just so we can focus on panache and doing stuff stylishly. There's this curious thing I found out recently, which I have to share with you all. Shit, I deleted the wrong Spark table. Okay, so you guys know how there are 4 movies of Pirates of the Caribbean, right? And in the 4th movie, there is this one iconic song, Jolly Sailor Bold. Actually, you know what? Music. I need music. Pirate. Pirates! There we go. Okay, so in the 4th movie, the one with the mermaids, there is a song called Jolly Sailor Bold. And very recently I found out that there is no official version of it that plays in the tavern before the adventure starts. Now you might be thinking, what are you talking about? Played in a tavern? Isn't that the song that is sung to the mermaids, and the mermaids sing the song back, and then the pirates catch a mermaid or something? And yes, that is that, but also in a clever foreshadowing moment, that song is also sung in the tavern before Jack Sparrow meets Angelica. I don't know how it's not out there, but it sounds so much more jolly, instead of this, mysterious mermaid song. It's just this jolly little tune that people sing in a tavern. And I wanted that, but it's not even in the official soundtrack. I tried to look online, and it's not even in a scene, like other scenes from movies. Either people just don't give a shit about the movie, other than that single mermaid song, or nobody noticed yet. But I seriously doubt that nobody noticed it. Somebody must have noticed it, because it feels so obvious to me. Anyway, that out of the way, let's see, what kinds of approaches should the pirates have? Well, obviously there is stylish or flashy, which should be something like panache. Is that a good word? Is that how it's spelled? Flair, dash, style. Yes, that's it. That's the good stuff. Okay. So that is flashy. We also could have like... okay, what could be quick? Full sail. Boom. Intuitive. Careful. Let's go with North Star, because like that's the star that they would use for navigation or something, right? So you don't generally like know exactly, but you're gonna use it as a little guidance. Subtle, careful, forceful, weird. Okay, some pirate themes. Steering wheel. Let's just go with steer. Steer away from. Steer the ships. Oh, stay. Steer into. Steer through. Steer towards. Steer clear. Honestly, I kind of like the sound of steer clear. Even if it doesn't really fit any stats, obviously, but it just rhymes in a nice way. Pirate. Land pirate. Porch pirate. Puddle pirate. They're a member of the United States Coast Guard. Damn. Maybe? Does this have idioms? Knee-deep Navy. Oh, more nicknames. Okay. Box the compass. To count off all 32 points of a compass in a clockwise order. To completely reverse one's position or stance on something. Okay. Lose one's moral compass. Oh. Now see, moral compass. But there is no stat here that would suggest morality. Anyway, let's just go to the spark table for a moment. Pirate. Ship. Oh yeah, maybe I should look up ships. Sinking ship. Ship of state. Ship off, ship ahoy. Jump ship. Ooh, jump ship. Abandoned ship. Ship out, ship name. Tight ship. A very well organized and efficiently operating place, group or organization. Okay, I know exactly where to put that. Tight ship. There we go. I like how I filled out these ones. Okay, that's a nice little coincidence. Treasure. Cannon. Loose cannon. Boom. What a cool skill name. Musket. No real idioms, huh? Okay. Swashbuckler. No. Daredevil. Hothead. Adventurer. Braggart. Blusterer. Strutter. Boaster. Buccaneer. Corsair. Buccaneer. Sea Rover. Raider. Sea Bandit. Viking. Okay. Part of me wants to say cannonball, but I already have cannon in there. Cannonball feels like a more specific thing that could be derived from a cannon. Mutiny. Does anything above fit into mutiny? I guess not. But let's put here something typical. I would usually avoid 3-word titles, but I mean, this kind of works. Dead man's chest. Dead man's chest. Fictional sea song. Words of the lyric help advance the storyline. Yo, ho, a pirate's life for me. Okay. Curse. Because what's a pirate adventure without curses? Gamble. Gold. Shallows. Actually, let's just go with shallow. That could be interpreted as a shallow person as well, so that could be interesting. Swing. Rope. A rope of sand. At the end of the rope. End of rope. End of the rope. Point of utter exhaustion. Yeah, no. Rope off, rope together, take someone the rope. Shoulder ropes? Jump rope. Where is shoulder ropes? Rope dope. Rope some money, rope of sand. Money for all the rope. Know the ropes. I mean, I kind of like the idea of clever being called just the ropes. Because you know the ropes. So, what's rope dope? Rope dope. Oh, so it's a strategy. Boxing strategy in which one allows oneself to become trapped against the ropes while blocking an opponent's punches, thus causing them to become fatigued and vulnerable to attack. Ah. Anchor. Anchor. That's a good spark. And also a skill name, but I don't think... Yeah, Anchor already doesn't fit in. But something subtle. Subtle and pirate themed. Saber? That's not subtle, but... Cutlass, that's the word. I wanted to add another one to the Sparks table. Okay. Think. More pirate-themed words. Island. Port. What if I were to look up ghost idioms? Ghosting, pale as a ghost, ghost town. Lay a ghost. What's that? The ghost walks. White as a ghost, former cell. Ghost of a chance, ghost. What's this? A ball of clump of lily that's found in an area that needs to be dusted. Ah, okay. Who the heck came up with this? Play the ghost. To do something that finally eliminates one's long-held fears, worries, or distress about something that happened in the past. Okay. An expression used in theater to explain that actors will perform because they have been assured of payment. The phrase originally originated when an actor playing Hamlet's father, who appears in Hamlet as a ghost, refused to act unless he was paid. Okay. The ghost walks today because we all just got paid. The ghost of a chance. Ghost at the feast? Heal the ghost? White as a sheet? Ghost in the machine? Ghost writer. Ghost someone. Ghost from someone's past. The shadow, white as a sheet. Okay. Someone or something that acts as a reminder of something negative and thus ruins the enjoyment of something, primarily heard in the UK. To die. Based on the idea that one spirit leaves. Okay. Okay. Think. It could be subtle about pirates. Well, I'm not sure what could be subtle, but I know another spark word that is not subtle. Gunpowder. Map. Do I have compass among these? I don't. Compass. Okay. Time for a drink and think. The stream has been going on for nearly 2 hours, and I am almost done with my second out of 4 setting premises for this game. That I don't know if I will develop even further, because this is just as an example. Stranger Tides. What were the names of the Pirates of Caribbean movies? Okay. The Curse of Black Pearl, Dead Man's Chest, At World's End, The Stranger Tides, and Dead Men Tell No Tales. Dead Men Tell No Tales. That is a dodo, that is a herring, that is a keeper. Dead ringer. Dead marine. Dead man's hand and dead men tell no tales. Person or thing that bears a strong resemblance to someone or something. Huh. An empty bottle from an alcoholic beverage. Huh. Dead man's hand. The poker hand consisting of 2 8s and 2 aces, all in the black suits. That is seen as symbolic of bad luck because it was the hand of Wild Bill Highcock, a named figure in the US frontier. I was holding when he was murdered in 1876. Dead man's hand. Those who are dead cannot reveal secrets. I kind of want it to fit in there, but that's too many words. Dead men tell no tales. Drop dead. Knock one dead. Living dead. Raise the dead. Stop cold. Step on a dime. Dead of night. Dead hand of something. Wake the dead. The quick and the dead. Those alive and dead alike, often used figuratively. Quick has the archaic meaning of alive in this phrase. Today, we pay our respect as a nation for the quick and the dead who have fought and continue to fight for our freedom and safety. Damn. Although quick has been used for a living since the 9th century, cut to the quick and maybe obsolescent. Oh. Okay. The factor of influence of something that prohibits progress. Okay. Shipwreck. What's it called when someone is stranded on an island? Castaway. And stowaway? Or just run? Run. Maybe gamble could be replaced by stowaway. Stowaway. I mean, I don't know if this is such a great spark stable, but you know what? It works. It's a start. It's better than nothing. As for the subtle approach, that could still use some name. Sail. Set sail, sail into sail off, reef a sailing, sail the 7 seas, under sail. Trim your sails. To adapt oneself to new or altered circumstances, to spend less money, to decrease one's expenses. Huh. Okay. False colors. Oh. Yeah, that could work. Indeed, false colors it is. Boom! We got pirates! I am actually kind of excited. And now it's time for number 3. And I don't even know what could number 3 be. In a moment like this I would be asking the chat, but yeah, I guess it's just me. And that's fine, you know, somewhere I had to start somewhere, so. Okay, maybe something sci-fi. What do I not do much of? Space opera. Boom. Okay. Now. That was weird. Hide the player. Space. Far above the world. Ambiance and music. Okay, so we are doing space opera. I'm thinking Star Wars and Star Trek primarily. Sailing on a ship from planet to planet, encountering other ships, alien species, and so on. Oh, nah, not space opera. We already did like sailors on the sea, so something else. Hmm. My mind went to Aztecs, but I don't know any Aztec words, so that could be difficult. I don't know even the culture of Aztecs. And I don't know how engaging would the stream be, where I would just be looking at the Wikipedia of Aztecs and try to learn stuff about them. Uh, Native Americans, cowboys. I already do cowboys in a different game. It is tempting, but I will resist it for now. Um, is there even a music? Hold on, what's going on? There's hardly anything. Is my headphones plugged in? Okay. Well, Far Above the World did not really pay off for me. That's a shame. Alien Machine Shop. Okay. So, something sci-fi. Or maybe it's not futuristic. Maybe it's like historic sci-fi, like steampunk or something. But not steampunk. Punk subgenres. Not punk rock. Um, Cyberpunk derivatives. That's what I was looking for. Biopunk, cyber noir, nanopunk, post cyberpunk, atom punk, hook punk, diesel punk, disco punk, sandal punk, steampunk, lunar punk. Solar punk with darker aesthetic. It leads toward fantasy and its themes include night settings. Often, I mean, that sounds cool. Right now, when it comes to this work, I am leaning more towards solar punk, but I don't want it to be utopian, so lunar punk could be interesting. Let's just see what that's about. Lunar punk aesthetics wiki. Okay, okay, I can jive with that. Lunar festival, lunar punk. I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, it's like futuristic. Oh, it's on the moon, literally. Okay. I'm not sure if that's actually lunar punk. This feels like an AI image, so let's not do this either. Actually, okay, let's just show this one. So this feels interesting. I mean, I can kind of jive with it. Let's see if I can find anything online about it actually. Lunar punk. Okay, so apparently this is lunar punk. Emerging subgenre of science fiction and derivatives of solar punk that envisions a sustainable, optimistic future, but with a focus on the nocturnal, spiritual, and individualistic aspects of society. While it shares the core ecological and hopeful goals of its sibling aesthetic, lunar punk serves as its complementary opposite, often described as the yin to solar punk's yang. The aesthetic explores a world that thrives at night, illuminated not by the sun, but by moonlight, starlight, and most importantly, bioluminescence. It emphasizes introspection, spirituality, and a deep connection with the more mysterious elements of nature, such as fungi, moths, and the deep sea. Uh huh. Okay, so. Oh, that one is really tiny, so let's not even do that. Yeah, okay. And this, honestly, this feels kind of like, this is not even music. Oh, it's just ambience. Okay. Actually, let's see what they have for moon. Oh, distilled backwoods. It's about making the moonshine. Sure, let's go with that. Why the heck not? Hmm. This is a really small image. Uh-huh, okay. I kind of get the impression that it's like low-key. It reminds me of Hades too, in a weird way. What is lunarpunk on medium.com? Let's see. Let's educate ourselves. Lunarpunk is relatively new and still underdeveloped genre born. Basic level, consider it as basic analogs, the relationship with solarpunk. Okay, so instead of science and technology, it relies on occult and spirituality. I wanted this to be technological. Okay, this looks neat. This looks dope. Even though all that spiritual stuff makes me think of crystals. And I don't really feel like driving with that today. So let's continue. Oil punk, ray punk, solar punk. Wait, that's all? Heck? No. Punk punk. Okay, here we go. Apocalypse, atom punk, biopunk, heavy biotechnology inspired elements, cape punk, cassette futurism, cattle punk, clock punk, cyberpunk, desert punk, diesel punk, dungeon punk, fantastic noir, film noir, gaslamp fantasy, gothic punk, gunpowder fantasy, myth punk, ocean punk, sandal punk, scavenge punk, solar punk, steampunk, stone punk, tech timeline, urban fantasy. That was shorter than I thought. Disappointing. Okay, well, if that's not gonna work, let's think. My mind keeps going back to space, but I don't know. Yeah, this is infuriating. I was hoping I could come up with something, but I'm drawing a blank. Okay, how about I just check my bag of ideas? Surely something from there will work for me. Elements. No. Dreams? No, not dreams. Knight Rider. Cars. I keep coming back to Lunar Punk and thinking that, oh, if only if it was not occult and magical, but instead technological. But that is a bit of nonsense. That just feels like cyberpunk. Dream Taker, Sky Princess. Vitality themed. Maybe that, yeah. Okay. Boom. Vitality theme, let's go. So, now you might be asking, Proph, what the hell does vitality themed mean? Well, it's a subgenre of, or genre of Chinese media, I believe. I've seen exactly one, actually maybe two donghwas that could be considered vitality themed, at least according to the tags on the website, the streaming service where I watched them. And the funny thing about these is that they are about super duper powerful people doing super duper awesome stuff in a bizarre way. Think of it like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, except the rules are not even there. They just pull stuff out of thin air all the time because they can. Because the protagonist is a super powerful, super demon lord, something, you know. And the enemies he's fighting are just epic level things, and yet despite that they do not know how to defeat him because he's got so much energy. I don't want to use like chi or ki or something. I will just call it energy. Hell and heaven. Gun. I have to include that. That was actually my favorite moment from the show, because there was a single moment where a character was introduced as, I think, the Volcano King or something, the god of guns, and my mind was like, oh. And at the time, my girlfriend, who was watching it with me, went, no, that's not what you think it is, probably. Because gun is a Chinese word with plenty of different meanings. And I went like, oh, okay, I guess. And, well, she was right in one thing. The guy never pulled out a gun. That being said, later on I talked to someone Chinese who ensured me that, yes, the guy did mean gun as an English word gun. Firearm. The god of firearms. Hell yeah! America! Okay. Sword. Because of course, you have to have swords in such a thing, as well as staff. I kind of want to say angel, but I don't think that was there. I think fairies were in their heaven. Prison. Prophecy. Okay, this music is kind of ruining my vibe, my jive. This could work. Okay. Martial art. Actually, no, let's just go with art. War. Maybe these could be themed after animals. I'm thinking like, okay. Actually, Kung Fu animals. Oh, plenty to choose from. Okay, dynamic list. May never be able to satisfy particular standards for completeness. Okay, I'm down. Fujian White Crane, also known as White Crane Boxing, is southern Chinese martial art that originated in Yongchun County, Zhejiang Province. According to the oral tradition, the style was developed by female martial artists. It is associated with traditional fighting techniques, including something that I cannot read until I open it. Dog Kung Fu. Long range, but is most similar to close quarter to hand-to-hand combat. Bird pecking or flapping of wings. Tibetan or Tibetan? I don't know what the freak half the English words are read as. I'm sorry. Oh. Okay, I am not learning much from that. Northern and southern praying mantis. Snake. Tiger. Monkey. The dragon warrior. Okay, so let's see. Praying mantis. It is not built to withstand forces from perpendicular directions. Fighting style involves the use of whip-like circular motions to deflect direct attacks, which it follows up with precise attacks to the opponent's vital spots. There we go. That's the stuff I was looking for. Mantis. Boom. About attacking precise points. Now snake. Oh, leopard is also traditional. Okay. Whipping or rattling power, which travels up the spine to the fingers, or in the case of the rattler, the body shake, which travels down the spine to the tip of the tailbone. The ability to sinuously move, essentially by compressing one's stomach abdominal muscles, is very important. Footing is quite grounded, the stance work is fluid in order to maximize the whipping potential of any movement. This necessitates building a strong spine to contain the power and strong fingers to convey the strike. Okay, let's just skip to Tiger... Dragon. Deep hissing sounds associated with the style of train Chi-flow. To train Chi-flow. Inhaling is silent, exhalation is deliberate, tense and controlled. Inhaling lightens the body for aerial maneuvers, while exhaling drives power into each technique. Blocking is dispensed with, and parries or simple strikes substituted. At this point, novice and advanced students show very little in common. On the highest level, an opponent is allowed to tire himself out, with evasion becoming the dragon's key defense. Key control is highly developed, and the degree to which the body must be moved to redirect or avoid impact is under greater control. Monkey. Monkey. Are there multiple monkeys? No, this is tiger. Good, so just one monkey type. Actually, well, I guess more. Way of the mythical Sasquatch. Number of independently developed systems for monkey kung fu. Monkey King. Modern wushu. Okay, techniques. I should have gone here. Drunken monkey. Ooh. Focus is on ice rope. Okay, hold on. Running on all fours. Various difficult acrobatic movements such as flipping sideways in the air, front flips, back flips, handsprings, handstands, walking on the hands, forward lunges, dives, backward lunges, spinning on the butt, spinning on the back, and many kicks and strikes. Oh, okay, hold on. Where is it? Something tells me Kung Fu Panda. Oh, it's by Jackie Chan. Oh, I didn't realize. Huh. But yeah, they don't say which style was the monkey's style. Maybe it was never mentioned. Whatever. Incorporate false steps to affect defenselessness and off-balance strikes. Practitioner waddles, takes very faltering steps and sometimes falls to the ground and lies prone while waiting for the opponent to approach it. Each time a devastating attack is launched at the knees or groin. Okay, subtle. At least the drunken monkey, but I will just go with subtle for now. Monkey. Yeah, this one also incorporates feints. Serious angry monkey that attacks and defends with ferocity. Damn. But I think something tells me the tiger styles will be more along the lines. Ripping, tearing, clawing, and grasping applications. But not much information about this here. Or this... What the... This is a stub. Okay, Black Tiger style is characterized with its extreme footwork, acrobatic kicks, low wide stances, and a unique fist position, where the thumb is curled in the same manner as the other fingers, rather than wrapped around them. The Black Tiger style's fighting mentality is to use these sweeps and kicks by acrobatic movements with the purpose of overwhelming the opponent before they are able to attack. Style places emphasis on developing physical power and focuses on fitness rather than on internal aspects. Iron palm training is central to this style. Let's compare with leopard. Elbows, knees, low kicks, leopard punches. The leopard does not overwhelm or rely on strength, as does the tiger, but instead relies on speed and outsmarting its opponent. Okay, now that's clear. Now that's so much clearer. So, tiger is strength, leopard is speed. And snake, what could this be? Aims for weak points of the body, a human body, such as the eyes, groin, and joints. Okay, let's just call this one smart, just to be one step closer to finishing it. Snake, leopard, tiger, dragon. I guess dragon would be flashy because of all that. Do we have any other animals? Eagle and dog kung fu. Chinese box. This southern style of Chinese boxing has the unique feature of specializing in takedowns, chin na, and ground fighting, while often taking advantage of utilizing techniques from an inferior position. Hmm. Gripping techniques, system of joint locks, takedowns, and pressure point strikes. Okay. Eagle. Okay, which one of these feels like eagle? I don't know. Dog. Maybe dog could be intuitive. Okay, let's just go with this. The dragon is gonna be weird because it's a mythological creature, you know? Crane or do I have crane? I don't have crane. Now, crane was about those postures, right? Long range, more similar to close quarters or hand-to-hand combat. Imitates birds pecking and flapping of wings. Traditional weapon, discontinued the use of weaponry. Half hard, half soft system of Nanquan. It is a short-range fighting style where hand strikes are performed by imitating the crane's beak, with moves executed in conjunction with the movements of the practitioner's spine. Techniques delivered with legs are limited, but include defensive, kicking, and sweep techniques. Style has a strict moral code to ensure the students do not use their techniques for malicious purposes. This form uses various body parts and weapons, as well as movement that are coordinated, flexible, and strong. Enemy attacks. To bait the aggressor to open themselves for practitioner's own attacks. Many of the style's movements are targeted towards vulnerable body parts such as the temple and throat. Influence on other styles. Ruthlessness. Evade, pierce, intercept. Lion is not there. There is tortoise. Speed and precision. That's already the mantis. Scorpion style. Stealthy and lethal nature of the scorpion. Okay, here's the idea. Yes, monkey is about deceiving, but also, it fakes being drunk and stuff to get attention. In other words, I think it would be more flashy. Now let's make scorpion the stealthy and lethal. One more intuitive. I like bear. That's a cool one. Lion style, emphasizing strength, agility, and resilience. Toad style. Do I have crane in the end? I don't. Okay, look. I don't want to waste too much time with this, so let's just say this one is the crane and be done. Now for the spark table. Lantern, channel. Shit. Mountain. Blossom. Soul. Or should I do? I guess I could do spirits. Power. And something extra. Three. Okay, that's the third one done. And it only took me like 40 minutes. Because I spent too much time researching the stats. The fighting styles. Okay, whatever. We are almost done. Sky Princess. Artist of Ages, the Border Monument, the Craving One, Gelatinous Convocation, Sun-Cursed Queens, Only Lover, Paylord. Okay, we have Chinese fantasy fighting, we have pirates, and we have modern time severance. We really could go with something futuristic next. Okay. Not space opera. Or maybe a little bit. Crap, what was it called? Eclipse phase. Okay, so let's go with transhumanism. The game. Just transhumanism. Okay, now this will be tricky. Because in the world where you can become anything, it's gonna be hard to pick something to be. Internet. Computer. AI. Robot. Vote. Money. Government. Conspiracy. Skyscraper. Vehicle. Port. Disk. Memory. Burn. Chrome. Cyberware. Is that how it's spelled? Cyberware. Technology that integrates directly into the human nervous system. Okay. Let's go with car here instead, and here we'll put bike. Because those are cool cyberpunk things, aren't they? Government and conspiracy are long. Corporate. Okay, what the hell do I do with the name and the stats though? That's the better question. Let's just try to be somewhat straightforward this time, instead of looking up idioms and such. Cover, hide. Mask. Actually, boom. Simple stylistic thing. Just put a period in front of it, and it will immediately seem more technical. Yeah. Flashy. Ooh. Oh, wait, I have an idea. Boom. Lead speak. There it is. Forceful. What could be forceful in 4 letters with some vowel? Oh, push. Careful. Clever. Intuitive. No mind. And weird. Expediency. Excellency. Some grammagram. SFMO. Atlas. Atlas. I win. I buy. IMF empty. 4. CDB. CDC. AB at C. IOU, K9, RU, okay, CU, Expediency, FUNEX. Oh, FUNEX. NS and E1. SC, Z2, CU2. SEZ2, CU2. Wow. Amazing words. Wow, nothing. Nothing. At least as far as I could see. Oh, clever. Hmm. Smart, bright, sharp, canny, wise. Let's just keep it at one number per thing, except for cool, because that one is cool. How weird was just a number. Boom. Actually, Y2K. Boom. Because that's when the things went weird in this universe. Yeah. As for the final word on the Sparks table, my mind keeps going to brain, but okay, how about this? I'm gonna move money here. And here we put consciousness. Ah, that's a long one. Awareness, cognizance. Okay. And there we go. We got ourselves 4 settings that could be played in this game, roughly. It is not even a finished game yet, but I just wanted to do something that I could point at and say, look, it has potential, it could be done, it could be used. You know, I wanted to finish something today. This still feels unfinished. I will have to do a lot of searching to see if there's something that is opposite of intuitive, but not complete opposite. I will also have to make up my mind on whether I want to keep Benny's, Will, or both of them. Because here's the thing, right? Benny's could work as an elegant reward, kind of like inspiration. Oh, you did something that I like in the roleplay? Well, good on you. Here, have a Benny. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for today. So let me just turn off this music and let's listen to some more Amanda Cassidy as we leave the stream. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you had a lovely time. I sure had, and I look forward to streaming some more. I don't know when I will be streaming. All I know is just that I want to do more stuff. I wanted to record a new video for a long time. But I have to like force myself into it eventually. Anyway, I think that's gonna be it. Thank you all. Have a good one.
B prime, B double prime, and B triple prime. You're gonna have to run with that. It's a good place to hide.